Hey, thanks for watching the 103 GBF YouTube channel. I'm the Sandman with episode number 17 of The Coolest Guy I Know. It's him, Brick Briscoe. How you doing, brother?
It's so good to see you.
So good to see you.
I used
It's
to
been a
see
while.
you all the freaking time back in the Fox 7 days.
I know. You were
I would come
promotions
over, you guys
director.
were on 41 or something?
Yep, 41 in Lincoln.
I'd come over there and try to spend money and you never won it.
I can't believe that. Try now.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about some of the stuff you've done other than TV, because that was back when TV was fun, right?
TV was a totally different animal. I know radio must have been.
We didn't do YouTube videos back then, but we get to go do cool stuff these days. Yeah. And I know Brick is a man who is of many talents. First, I want to talk about the filmmaker that you are. You have done some feature-length motion pictures.
Yeah, I've made a few back when you had to shoot film. You know, it's a lot different now because, heck, I think I've got maybe $10,000 invested in equipment that would have cost $100,000 then. You know. I went to film school like a lot of people did in the 80s and 90s, and moved to New York and LA and did that whole thing and raised a bunch of money. You used to have to raise money to make movies. Kids today I know are making movies for $100.
Oh, sure.
And you know, it would just be $6,000 to $7,000 just to buy film back in the day.
Right.
So it was a totally different process, but I was blessed. I got out of film school, moved to New York City, tried to make movies in New York City, didn't work, went out to LA, made a few. It went okay out there, and I just moved home and made another one, and then moved back to New York City thinking that was gonna do it, but it didn't.
And I know during that time, or at least around that era of your life, you shot some music videos as well.
Yeah, I did a whole bunch of country music videos. I did a whole bunch of rock music videos. Nothing particularly successful. The one that was really kind of helped me out the most was of the girl Dee Dee Kahn. She was on that show Baxter.
Yeah.
And she made a record called "Mommy, Give Me a Drink of Water," and it was her redoing a Danny Kaye thing, something Danny Kaye had done in the '50s, and we shot 12 music videos and sold a home video to kids. It did me incredible, but yeah, it wasn't the best thing I've ever done, but it was a lot of fun.
So, the process of making a music video, just give me a little, I'm an ignorant person when it comes to how the inside of that works. Basically, are they just hearing the music blasting pretty loud?
It can be. It doesn't have to be. A lot of times, like you see people singing in slow motion, where it looks like they're in slow motion.
Yeah.
So they're trying to sing it really fast because that's playing really fast when they're doing it. Or you slow it down really a lot so it looks like it's really fast. It just depends. It depends on the artist. Sometimes it'll be a click, and they'll kind of do it to a click rather than hear the music. It just depends. Everybody's different. Every artist has a different comfort zone.
I bet the rock guys like it loud, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like it loud.
Yeah, absolutely. You're a rock guy.
Yeah, that's right.
That leads us into Rock Store, which is a website. And tell me a little bit about that. I'm somewhat familiar, but for those who may not be, please fill us in.
My oldest friend, John Roush, a guy from Petersburg, just like myself, started a rock and roll art gallery called rockstore.com. And we represented Bob Gruen, one of the great rock and roll photographers.
Absolutely.
Worked with John Lennon, worked with everybody.
Most known for me from photographing Kiss.
Oh, absolutely. He did a lot of Kiss photos. We have Baron Wolman, who was the first photographer of Rolling Stone, Astrid Kircher, Klaus Vormann, who did the Beatles Revolver cover. We've had all those people over here to Indiana and to other places, taking them to conventions and other art gallery shows. And we sell their original works. I mean, it's not cheap. It's stuff, you know, signed stuff by those people. We also represented, for a lot of years, a lot of things at the Beatles artwork, Paul's work, John's. You've seen their work. And, and some of their writings, and it was a lot of fun. But the Beatles, you know, they're dying off.
Yeah,
that
couple generations gone by.
And the people who buy that stuff are kind of getting older too. And so we're looking for the next wave. And what I've found in collectible stuff, the people who are interested in collecting were into punk rock, and I mean original punk rock in the '70s, like the Clash. And the Sex Pistols and the Jam. And those people tend to be more collectors. I don't know if they were the people that had jobs or were people who were in college at the time when that hit, and that's just what they remember. I don't know what it is. It's really hard to figure that out.
So rockstore.com is a cool website to check out. Peruse it, and you know, hey, if you got a little bit of cash, might get yourself something really collectible, something really cool to put in your den or your basement or your garage, or you don't put it in your garage, but somewhere cool anyway.
You'd be surprised where you find that stuff.
Yeah, I bet, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to talk about you as a musician.
Yeah.
You've been playing for a long, long time, and you got a new album coming out.
I'm just finishing my 8th one, and it's just a rewarding thing. I don't know if you've ever, I know you played.
Yeah.
And you get up in front of people and you're communicating. It's an awesome thing at the end of the night. It's like you're an athlete, kind of, you know whether it was good or not. It doesn't necessarily have to be the impact. I'd like to compare it a little bit to the movies. It takes so much effort to make a movie.
Yeah.
And you write a screenplay and it's really nothing until that film's made. But you write a song, whether we record it or not, I could bring my guitar in here and play it for you and go, yeah, I get it. I know where you're going. It's already done. And that's a really rewarding thing. It's an easy way to, I don't want to say easy, that's wrong, but it's a great way to communicate and get immediate feedback. I would imagine it's kind of like being a stand-up comic. You get up and play in front of people, you automatically know whether they dig it or not.
Sure, oh yeah.
And being at the level I am, we'll travel 500 miles playing in front of 50 people, and a lot of times it's the sound of one hand clapping, but then you end up going back to those places, you start to build your following, and it's a lot of fun. And
actually, I believe there's quite a few of your music videos or performances on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Stuff I didn't make, so that makes you feel good when people take the time to put stuff up there. And I don't know, are they fans? I don't know.
Well, you search Brick Briscoe, Briscoe, on YouTube, and check out some of his stuff. I gotta tell you, I've listened to quite a few songs that you've done over the years, and I hope I'm not going to offend you with this comment, but you remind me a little bit of Lou Reed, or Velvet Underground.
That's accurate. I would say that's accurate. I come from that generation.
Yeah.
That's what influenced me. I think we're lucky that we came from the generation that people at our age are still listening to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I agree. Maybe, people who were our parents' generation didn't. And they might have heard the Beatles when it started, but they didn't necessarily stay with it, because that was kids' music.
Right.
And we grew old with the rockers.
Oh, yeah.
Not the world.
Oh, not at all.
I'm still sleeping in vans, man.
The shoes or the vehicle?
Yeah, both.
Right. I have to ask you too, do you have a band per se that travels with you, or do you
No, I do. I do a lot of solo gigs where it's just me and a guitar. But I have Eric Lee, who's a bass player from around here. Everybody calls him Big Sexy. He's amazing. He's one of the best musicians I've ever met, and he has perfect pitch, and there's nothing more annoying than playing with somebody with perfect pitch. And my drummer was the guy who was in my first punk rock band when I was in high school, a guy named John Craig, who lives in Indianapolis, and he drives down here and he goes out with us.
See, and knowing you as long as I have, you seem like you would have punk rock roots.
That's definitely what influenced me as a player. Well, I first heard the first Ramones record when I was a freshman in high school, and I go, I can do that, and I was a big fan of Pink Floyd and stuff like that at the time, and it seemed so dense that it was unapproachable.
Yeah.
But I had a guitar, and I was trying to make those sounds, but I heard the Ramones, I said, I can do that. I like the way they're doing this, and it wasn't because it sounded easy, but there's just, you could tell it wasn't about the musicianship, it was about the song. And I said, that's what I want to do, and I kind of grasped on. Obviously, like punk rock, after a while, you kind of got past it. Punk rock lasted 60 to 70 days, and it was over, and all those people went on to be great players and stuff, because I think they were just inquisitive, and you hope you're that way, and I was probably that guy too. And so I've branched into other styles, but you definitely hear that in what I do.
If you had to pick a couple of bands or artists that are current that you enjoy, is there anything new out there that you really like?
Yeah, I'm sorry you even asked me. I'm a big fan of Lana Del Rey. I know that sounds crazy.
No.
I really, really like her. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it.
There's actually a lot of rockers that do.
Yeah, she's sultry. She kind of reminds me of Nancy Sinatra, too. There's something about that I really like. I still listen to all the same stuff I guess I grew up with, but I'm always buying new records, and it's funny you asked me that. I'm drawing an incredible blank. I'm just drawing. I buy records every week, and I'm really excited about the new Slater Kenny record. Carrie Brownstein from Portlandia, her new record. I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm listening still.
Well, that's good.
I spend hundreds of dollars on records. It's a real bone of contention.
Vinyl, I'm sure.
Not so much anymore, but I still buy physical. I download every now and then.
Yeah.
I get mad when my friends say, "Hey, I just got this off the internet," but people do what people do.
And what do you think about the controversy of Spotify and different sites like that where people download music?
I think the industry was a little better when there were fewer outlets for artists, in one sense, because there was a checks and balances with labels. They would say, yeah, this needs to grow a little more, let's just put a little bit into them. This band's already there, let's really make that happen. But at the same time, I think the democracy of us, any of us, could make a great sounding, technically great sounding record is a really, it equals the playing field, and the cream's always gonna rise to the top. If you're really good, you're gonna get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
I think water finds its own level, and the way the industry is right now, you're gonna find your own level. I would say it'd be really tough on radio. I'd say it has to have affected you guys.
It does to an extent, but I think it affects the artist as much as anything. I mean, I read something the other day that the only artist that's actually sold 1 million copies of a physical album or CD this year is Taylor Swift.
Yeah, isn't that something?
And you used to have all kind of bands that would sell 1 million or more in a year.
Yeah, you know, I'd really like to see artists reach a broader audience, but there's something to be said where I've got this niche, I'm gonna sell 500 units. I mean, I know I'm gonna sell 500 units.
Yeah.
I can kind of plan for that. And then you've got bands like Cracker, who are buddies of mine.
Yeah.
They're gonna sell 10,000 units. They kind of know, and they can kind of plan for it, and you just never know. My next record may sell 1,500, and I'll be over the moon. Their next record may sell 50,000, and they'll go, oh my gosh.
Right.
So I think it keeps us all in business, and I think if you're not very good at it, you keep hitting your head up against a wall, you're gonna stop doing it. So is it really that different? No, it may not be really that different, but I would say the longevity factor is a lot more expensive now.
You're a wise man. That's all I have to say about all of just what you said. Very wise.
Well, I'm having to deal with it every day.
Yeah, oh, I know you do. I know you do. Do you have a website?
Yeah, brickbriscoe.com.
BrickBriscoe.com, Rockstore.com, RockstoreRecords.com, right?
Yeah. No, Rockstore.
Rockstore.com. Also check out Brick Briscoe on YouTube. See some of his performances, but his website will tell you when his new album will be out.
Yeah.
You can check that out, and we'll keep you updated as well, too. So.
Yeah, we're back out on the road in January and February, and hopefully the new record, you'll love it.
The Winter Tour.
Yes, that's right.
Brick Briscoe, the coolest guy I know, episode number 17.
I'm honored to be here.
I'm glad you're here,
Somebody
man.
I've always looked up to.
Oh, well, it's mutual admiration on that part right there. And thank you for watching the 103 GBF YouTube channel. Please subscribe by clicking the little thing you see right above my thumb right there. Now, well, it's not really there right now, but it will be by the time we... Yeah. Well, that's because you took that pill before you came in. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.